welcome to the latest episode of Articulate Warbling with me, Laura.
And me, Zach.
Today we are going to talk about Uncharted.
There are places out there you can't find on any map. They're not gone. They're just lost.
Hey, kid. A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy. I think you're here because of your brother.
Well, you know my brother Sam?
If we find that gold, we find him too.
Who the hell is this?
I'm a friend of Sully's.
Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know him one of them.
You are a collector.
Well, I dabble.
I'm double. My family has been looking for this fortune for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatened to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea who you partnered with.
I've been dreaming about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
Oh my God!
I shouldn't have come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
Treasure hunter Victor Sully Sullivan recruits street-smart Nathan Drake to help him recover a 500-year-old lost fortune amassed by explorer Ferdinand Magellan. What starts out as a heist soon becomes a globe-trotting, white-knuckle race to reach the prize before the ruthless Santiago Moncada can get his hands on it. If Sully and Nate can decipher the clues and solve one of the world's oldest mysteries, they stand to find $5 billion in treasure, but only if they can learn to work together.
So going into this movie, what's your relationship with Uncharted?
Uncharted is a game that I used to play a few years ago. I would say it's probably up there with... I mean, I didn't play a lot of games, really. I dabbled with a few, but never could get on with them. The two games that I could play and my interest held for the longest was Grand Theft Auto, because I kind of grew up with it, and Uncharted. It's good. It's kind of like a mystery. Even the game's kind of thrilling. You get to kind of decipher clues, which is really my thing. I'm that kind of... like to figure out mysteries.
So it's not all action, it is actually puzzle solving.
And so there's a part where they put some keys in the door and they have to turn things certain ways. That's you have other information in order to solve those puzzles.
Well, I'm aware of the characters, but mostly through a cinematic vein. I've charted the film's production history, and it's been production hell. It's interesting that they got Mark Wahlberg in as Sully, because he was originally cast as Nathan Drake. I know what Nathan Drake looks like. I know the iconography, but I don't know the story or the narrative. I don't know the implications. I don't know the history. Coming out of this, loads of people, I like looking up other people's reviews, and they said, just play the game. But for people whom have no interest in video games, have no association or knowledge of it, you are coming in fresh. As someone who's played the game, and when we came out you said something, you said the issue was you knew the story, the beat by beat by beat by beat.
Yeah, so
did that take away the overall...
Yeah, it absolutely did.
Yeah.
Absolutely did. Because the feelings that I wanted to feel, I couldn't, because I knew.
what was coming.
Yeah.
Does it play it quite beat by beat like the game? How close to the game is it?
Very close. Like the beginning falling from an aeroplane thing is how the game starts.
Okay.
So it is really...
So that time...
Everything about it is how you play
So
the game.
it's like a direct adaptation. They're not taking any liberties.
No. The only thing is they just physically can't add in all of the problem-solving elements because it would go on for an eternity.
And instead they replace it with Papa John's... what do they call it? Product placement and Papa John's jokes.
Yeah, I mean, there's less, using your phone and the jokes about Mark Wahlberg's character having all of his apps open at the time, all the time. That's not in the game. But that adds to it, and that's what made it more entertaining, I think, for me, because in a way I'm sitting there thinking, I'm basically going to watch the easiest way of playing this game.
Yeah.
Which can be quite kind of disheartening because you just think, oh, really?
People complain saying that you might as well have compiled together the animated sequences and that would have been the film.
Yeah, basically, but they added things in there that were funny and that were entertaining.
Sure.
I played the game, I loved the game, I loved the film.
What do you think about... I'm feeling like I'm the questioner here because I have no affiliation with it. So it's interesting is Nathan Drake played by Tom Holland. Initially, were you like, what the fuck is going on here? Or were you like, yes?
Absolutely, yeah. 100%.
Does he personify the character?
100%. Because he is this nice guy who kind of gets himself into some sticky situations because of his brother and because of kind of that naughty boy element in him.
Sure.
But one of the first things he says when he basically lets somebody die, it's like, oh shit, I'm sorry, that was just like automatic pilot. And that is exactly what Nathan Drake is like. He is a nice guy, he's kind, he's caring, and he's actually kind of funny. And he doesn't want to kill people, he doesn't want to hurt people.
He's just about the hunt.
Yeah, and it's just about, for him, it's like he's lost his brother and he wants to go back to that. Yeah,
as well, very close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the whole impetus? He wants to try and attain that level of adventure that they both kind of wanted for each other. Yeah,
I mean, in the game, you connect far more with Sam.
You spend so much more time. Yeah, obviously.
Absolutely, yeah, and because it literally the way that the film is set out is exactly how the game sets out. So you set out falling from the sky, but then you go back 15 years and then you do little naughty things with Sam.
Sure.
So they've obviously skipped that bit out.
To build up your almost the gamer's
well, you've got to give a shit as to why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. But from what they showed in the movie, that little segment of, this is the last straw of this now. He's young. He's going to eventually get in trouble. You're old enough to not do this shit. Yeah. Did they encapsulate that well in that scene that we had with Sam and his younger Nathan Drake?
Yeah, it's just that you don't get the relationship they have.
Sure.
Not enough from that.
Sure.
But yeah,
you have ever so much time, don't you? Probably.
Yeah, but I mean, playing the game, when that scene happens, like, I cried. And that's where you invest your time into the rest of the game because you're desperate to get that connection back with Sam.
Yeah. Does it help to be a game player? Do you think this movie was made mostly for the game players? Because as someone who's a novice, there were so many moments in this where I'm like, huh? Like there was a cameo on a bit where they end up on.
I can't remember who that was.
I was like, are we meant to know who this is? This is meant to be a big moment.
I genuinely can't remember who that guy was.
Outside of the whole gaming thing, as someone who's like a freshman, I loved it. I did not think I was going to like it. Ruben Fleischer is a very hit and miss director.
Oh yeah.
Mark Wahlberg is someone that I think we've shared we're not the biggest fans of.
I liked him.
He was superb in this. The tone of the humility, the brotherhood, the almost unpredictable nature of it. The slyness. Also, so many twists and turns in this film. Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Backstabbing. Also, this young actress stole the movie for me sometimes.
Sophia Ali. The only problem I had with her was her accent.
It was British and then it turned into Australian.
Yeah, and she's American, so it's not like it can be, it's not a Rebecca Ferguson situation.
Yeah.
Where we now forgive her misgivings because she's been around in so many different places and brought up in by different people. But this really detracted away from her character, which was so frustrating because I felt that I could actually relate more to her even though she's kind of double crossing. I could relate more to her if her accent was just... If they'd have just left it American, just leave
It
her
didn't
as
bother me
American.
because I generally thought she was Australian, and I know that Australian people a lot of the time do sound English.
Yeah, I just couldn't... At first I was like, oh, she's doing a British accent badly, and then I realised that it wasn't British.
Well, the way the tables are turned, I don't want to give away, but there's another prominent female actress in this movie, and she was great in it as well. I really liked her. The twists and turns in relation to her are unexpected. They kind of veer in the direction to make out that she is probably going to be a saving grace. Very good casting, very good acting from all around. The whole Scottish thing was hilarious.
I shouldn't have come out to play with our big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
You're not the big man. And Nathan Drake, Tom Holland's like,
I don't
know what
you're
you're saying.
saying.
You want to play with the big boys now? First, when it opened with that sequence, it was like, this looks like a PlayStation video game.
Yeah.
But once the film goes, the style, the aesthetic, when you get to that eventual full-length sequence, it's forgiving. You're so enwrapped and enfolded. This movie doesn't let up.
No.
It is heartwarming, relatively emotional, simplistic, but it has that roller coaster, swashbuckling, adventure story, Indiana Jones-esque side of it, which cannot be captivating. The last time I had a feeling of such, elation at being taken on a trip, a journey, was Jungle Cruise. I had the same experience, and also what helped was my expectations were so low, but it is really well paced. Some really, really, big action sequences, especially that finale with the two ships. I was like, I haven't seen this before. I really like this. And Ruben Fleischer really shows flavour for this type of filmmaking. He kind of shit the bed on Venom 1. Since then, he's kind of dibbled and dabbled, but I think he was a perfect Mitch. He came in as a director for hire. No one really wanted to touch this. So many names were attached, and he was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a go. I don't think he was so precious about approaching it in, like, all these other directors were quite highfalutin. He is a Hollywood director. This is a guy who produced one of your favourite television series, Superstore. He's in the world of making commercial vehicles, and if you get auteur type filmmakers, they're going to be precious about it. They want to think about elevating it, and he was kind of like, I just want to carry across this sense of what the video game is for the gamers, but also for a general audience. And I mean, I came out of this, and this is probably how the whole construction works, is I was kind of like, I'm kind of interested to know what the game is like, and it's kind of really clever. It works as a really good advertisement for more gamers, and also for more people interested in the story, characters. I came out and I was like, I unexpectedly loved it. I want a sequel. I want a sequel now. Tom Holland was so good. Like, I liked it that he was a little bit more cocksure, because we're so used to seeing him as a already well-established American icon character, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and all that, oh gee whiz, oh gee whiz, it gets a bit infuriating. So to see him with a little bit of swagger and a little bit of a dark side, it really appealed to me. I loved it. 4 stars, a real big strong 4-star action adventure spectacle, which gives you, those vibes you get from the great Indiana Jones films, swashbuckler films, adventure movies. It is escapism.
Yes.
Pure and simple. But with some dimensionality. You care about the characters. You get so involved in it. What would you like to see going forward? Would you like a sequel?
I mean, I'm sure there's a second game. I never got that far.
Never got that far.
So, but yeah, I would like a sequel.
Did it make you entice you to go, I might want to play the game one day? Again? Or
yeah. But
seek out the sequels?
I'm not buying a PlayStation.
No. Yeah, you may get us good, Sony and PlayStation, but we're not that eager.
You've seen how much they cost.
Yeah. So, that's agreed?
Yes, 4 stars, absolutely.
4 stars.
Yeah.
So that is a recommendation from Articulate Warbling. Thank you for joining us. Remember to
like,
share,
and subscribe
to our YouTube channel.